All right. We are back. And what was I doing? Right, so I was updating the name here to reflect what the tech tree said, so they'd agree, right? Um, so we have a description: a turret that does a small amount of damage to passing enemies, and then the description here: a basic bolt firing turret. Um, let's take this one. Put this in here. I mean, they don't have to say the same thing, but I do want them to be, aligned. And I think that's fine. Okay, and then wall. Wall is actually the thing that in the tech tree is called stacked crates. And then I'm going to take this text, and instead of saying not even a simple wall, we'll say a basic wall to redirect enemies. A very weak wall. There you go. We'll put that there and there. There we go. I like that. So then this sets the cost in scrap of placing stat crates. So it's mixed feelings here, because if we're saying you can collect 60 scrap from opening those boxes that are behind the car, if placing a stat crate costs 10, you can put 6 stat crates with that scrap, right? I think that's not too unreasonable. How much does the turret cost? 20. Okay. Okay. Let's leave this like this for now. So tech should cost scrap to unlock. We already had that. We just need to set the config, which is great. I love it when it's just we got to set up some config. Scrap shooter should cost 75 scrap to unlock, so we did that. Stat crates and scrap shooters should be on the hotbar by default. They are not. So we'll have to figure that out. But just with what we have, the things we need to do. So if we go to start game, how do we right. So let's delete. There we go, and then we start new game there. Okay, so now we have. Oh, they are on the hotbar, but by default, right? So here's the stat crates, and here's the turret. The scrap shooter. It would be good. Like, I know I haven't made the art for these things yet to put in here, but it would be good if I hover over it, that it gives me a tooltip. Because that's what these are. Yeah, so if you collect your 60 scrap from here, from those little boxes, you can make 6 of these. Now, is this a good use of scrap? Probably not. Especially they have 100 health. That's kind of a lot of health for a weak defense. When the car has 500. Like, we got like 600 health out of that scrap. So that doesn't seem right. So, close this, go to wall. How does this work? Hold on, we have to go to it's not called wall, is it? crates, ob crates, or crates.tscn is our scene, right? And so this is where we're defining the health. 100 hit points. So it should be more like 10? Even less? I think they should be really weak. Maybe they should be cheaper, but they're kind of big is the thing. Okay, so that's fine. Wait. Why do I only have one thing on the hotbar? Oh, and I can hover over it now. I'm confused. Oh, okay. So that is some kind of bug, right? So we cleared the slot and we started a new game, but there was some stuff left over after we did that. Right? So scrap shooter here. Can't unlock this. We don't have 75 scrap. Is the thing. So like also there's no way to clear. Hold that thought. I think I want to not do this, in fact. I will add items to the hotbar when they are unlocked. If there's room for them. Yeah, so this is, I think, what I want to do instead. Let's just note there's a bug. When you clear a slot, save slot, and then start a new game, hotbar, yep, yeah, I think that's accurate. I think that's what we were saying. Okay, so I don't know if I'll do that right now, but we can open like an issue in GitHub to do something about that. All right, so add items to the hotbar when they are unlocked. If there's room for them is a thing I think we should do. Initially, there should not be anything on the hotbar. Yeah, and then a bunch of redundant words. Okay. Items on the hotbar that aren't unlocked yet should be grayed out. This should not be possible anymore if we're doing this, right? We won't have to worry about that. Menu for the hotbar doesn't show the right names. It does if we give them the right names in the resource file, so that's not an issue. And we saw the hover over worked once we had something on our hotbar that was in fact something unlocked, which this isn't. But if we were to so the animation of the zombie has some issues. An issue right now is that if I take out the zombie, unfortunately it's going to end the game. Did I pause in time? I did pause in time. So if I'm paused, it won't end the level yet. But unfortunately I can't click that. But can I go to the tech tree? I can. Okay, but it thinks I can't unlock the scrap shooter. Oh. Okay, another bug. Love the bugs. When you have already opened the tech tree, and something is not unlockable, then when you earn more scrap and it becomes unlockable, the tech tree doesn't update the unlock button to show that it can now be unlocked unless you click something in the UI to trigger an update. Yep, okay. Regardless, we can unlock this. There we go. So now it's unlocked. I can't really do anything about it. Why doesn't this hover over work? Why doesn't that hover over work? Unfortunately, I've chosen to make this so that you cannot interact with the hotbar while the game is paused. Okay, so that does work. Oh, and we can clear the slot. So I think some of the things are broken if the things that you have on your hotbar are things that are not actually unlocked yet. I think that's what's going on there. Okay, cool. Yeah, and of course, the way I've set this up, when you get to this end screen, it takes all of your scrap. And, well, in this case, it wouldn't matter anyway, because I just spent all the scrap to unlock the turret. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so we'll be able to test more stuff once I add more zombie waves. But, yeah, good. Okay, we're figuring stuff out. Okay, initially there should not be anything on the hotbar. Do we have any changes? Yeah, we have a bunch of changes committed here. Let's or not committed yet. Update tech tree and obstacle configurations, rename. Good, all right. Push that. Initially there should not be anything on the hotbar. So why are there things on the hotbar? Don't know. Hotbar.tscn is a thing that has an attached script. Come over here and get rid of some of these things. Okay, so here's our hotbar script. Populate default hotbar. I wonder what that does. Okay. So what this is supposed to do, this sort of does what we want to do when things are unlocked. So this looks at available obstacle types. Interesting. Like, this should be empty, because nothing should be unlocked. Huh, does that work that way? Let's so I know we have the bug, right, where if we delete the slot and play it, it keeps things over. So, but this is a fresh run of the game, and I will use a second slot here, and we'll start a new game. Ah, why is this here? Why is this here? Why is the scrap shooter there? Also, that's why we're not getting tooltips before. It was not to do with it being not unlocked. It being locked, in other words. But rather, the pop-ups don't work if you are paused. Which, okay, I'm going to call that a bug. It's a thing I don't want. But, bug. When game is paused, hovering over the hotbar items, it's decided this is now Lua. It's not. It's Markdown. They don't show up at all. Yep. Okay. So, but why is there something on the hotbar? at all, right? Because nothing should be unlocked, right? If we look at the tech tree, nothing is unlocked. This one's available to be unlocked because it doesn't require scrap to unlock, but so what is going on with obstacle registry, right? So there's this available obstacle types array that gets populated. State available obstacles. Presumably this is run on ready. Yep. This will be updated again when save data loads. Okay, so this has added types, remove types, updated, available. For each of the obstacle types that we know about, we check to see if it's unlocked. So there is a bunch of logging here. All of this stuff should be prefixed with obstacle registry. So let's filter for obstacle registry. There we go. So it loads in all the resource files that are available. This is how it loads in all the information it needs to know. And then obstacle unlocked turret scrap shooter should not be true for this save, right? We are in an empty save, should be nothing in it, so definitely should not be available. So is obstacle unlocked return true? So this is wrong. This is wrong. This logic around obstacles existed before the tech tree did. And I think what this is supposed to be is like, oh, you've satisfied the prerequisites and now you can do this. Whereas how it's supposed to work now is that there's a tech. There's a tech that exists for this obstacle type, and you're supposed to have it to be able to place the thing. So if we ask tech tree manager, so it's probably just hitting this, right? Because they're required tech IDs for the obstacle type. Ooh, well, let's see, scrap, or sorry, it's called turret. Turret. That's res. Required tech IDs. I understand. So the thing that's missing here is that what's supposed to be here is a thing that says you need to have the turret tech to make the turret. And we don't have that. So scrap shooter. This is TUR scrap shooter. So this is supposed to be here. Right, and then we'll look at the wall. Yeah, see, it has OB crates. Probably should be def crates, but whatever. And all the rest of these have these, right? So, thinking about it, I wonder if it turned out to be the case that for every tech that is unlocked, there is one and only one thing, then the question is, why have two files? I think that maybe I didn't completely think through that. This kind of somewhat emergent, but also potentially thinking that, a tech would unlock multiple things. Will it? I don't know. Okay, so that explains what's happening there. So if we quit, start the game again. And if we, yeah, I guess we'll do this. Nope. Main menu, load game, delete, delete, new game. Still there though. Why is that there? I don't know. Okay, it's there. Okay. So in the logic for obstacle registry, update available types, is obstacle unlocked. So we check to see if maybe it doesn't have any required text to have it available. And then we say for each required tech for this thing, is that tech unlocked? Tech ID. Tech ID being one of the values inside of required tech IDs. In this case, that would be the thing I just added. Tourist scrap shooter. Okay, so is tech unlocked? Is tech ID in unlocked tech IDs? What is unlocked tech IDs? Well, I imagine it's something that we are not updating when we load a new save. Also, I don't know. Formatting is adding a space there for some reason. I don't know why, but okay. So how does unlocked tech IDs get set? So this is us reading it. When we unlock a tech, we check a bunch of things and then we add to the list. And then when we reset the tech tree, we clear this. Okay. So get save data. So we do save unlocked tech IDs. When we load, loaded unlocked. Data.get unlocked tech IDs. Clear the set of tech IDs. And then we append. So for a new game, we reset tech tree. Removes all elements from the array. Okay. Interesting. Load tech tree. That adds all the tech nodes. Okay, so let's go over here. Now we started a new save. We have 0 XP, 0 scrap, level 1. We have not unlocked anything. Like if we go out here into the tech tree, you can see nothing is unlocked. If I look at tech tree manager, unlocked tech IDs is an empty array. That's what I would expect. And then it has tech nodes. So this is all the information it's pulled from the resource files. So like if we look at tourist scrap shooter, here's that object for the technology, right? Effects, unlocked obstacle IDs, turret. Yes. Good. So, given that, how is it that the what happens here? Where did we start? Okay, so here's where we were looking at the save slots. Save slot 1 metadata. Save slot 2 metadata. No screenshot found. Delete button pressed for slot 2. Delete button requested. Deleting slot 2. Okay, and then we... Okay, so we're going to create a new game in slot 2. Progression reset to defaults for currency manager. Reset system player progression. Achievement states reset. Reset system achievements. Tech tree reset. Reset system tech tree. All stats reset. Scenario progression reset. Reset system. Level progression. Okay. So here we go in Hotbar. Populating Hotbar with default obstacles. Hotbar setting slot 0 to scrap shooter. Well, these things are not adding up, are they? Right, so this is happening. And this only happens if there are available obstacle types. Right, that these words don't appear anywhere else. Yep. So when the save system works and interacts with the obstacle registry, we do have a on save loaded here. Does anything call load obstacle types besides ready? No. Okay. Do initial update of available obstacles. This will be updated again once the save data loads. Okay. Do we call this again somewhere else? We do. When the save is loaded. What does this function do? Okay, so this is setting available obstacle types. Registry, obstacle registry, obstacle unlocked. I think the issue is that I wonder if this happens after things are loaded. And there's probably, so what calls populate default hotbar? Just ready. Right, so when I'm thinking there's a window in which wait, did we look at the obstacle registry? Obstacle, available obstacle. Okay, so it's here, right? So there is an available obstacle type and there should not be. So this is not getting reset properly. So what was I looking at before that had some interaction with the save manager? Was it the tech tree manager? How does this work? Oh yeah, save manager register system. Basically says, hey, I'm a thing that needs to be dealt with as part of the save load system. Right, so register system appends whatever's passed in. You have to provide save key, save data, load data, reset data. I don't think we if we use this, then we have to provide all of these things. Where is reset data called? Just there. Everything else is a comment or a check. Do we... So this load completed signal we handle and we call on save loaded, which updates available obstacles. That's fine, but the issue is that there's a window of time. Wait, no, that's not even... Hold on. Does this get called save data loaded? It does. Okay. So whatever update available obstacles is doing is wrong. So for obstacle and obstacle types, is obstacle unlocked? And it shouldn't be. How do we updated available? Okay, we start with an empty array, and we say for each obstacle type, if it's unlocked, we append it to updated available. Yeah. So there's not any way for it to like preserve things. So the only way for something to be in available obstacle types, which is what we're seeing here, is the turret. The only way for that to be in that array is that is obstacle unlocked, return true. Right, there's no exit from this loop where it leaves the function. We always hit this. So available obstacle types is always updated to be updated available, which can only be added to through this branch. So this let's add a log there. Let's see if that gets triggered. So it doesn't in this case. I don't think this is a good example. Let's go to load game, delete the slot, new game. So I don't see a warning here. It is obstacle registry that we passed into that warning, wherever that was. Yeah. Okay, so we're not hitting this. Obstacle type dot required tech IDs. Right. It's there. So the issue has to be that this is returning true. So unlocked tech IDs contains the turret somehow still. Why? How? Reset tech tree. Unlock tech IDs clear. I don't know. I don't. Tech tree manager. Unlock tech IDs. It's empty array. Let's go back to the main menu. Let's try something a little different. Let's delete this slot. I think if we did try something, maybe we tried something in slot 3 that didn't have anything. So we'll clear this. We'll go back. We'll exit the game. We'll relaunch. We'll load. We'll start in slot 2. How is the turret unlocked? It's not. What am I missing? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Bug. When you start the game, the turret is unlocked and shows up in the hotbar, but according to the tech tree, yeah, at least that part is true. The other stuff that was auto-completing is not, but that seems to be the case. I guess what we could do, what if let's try something else. Let's delete all of the saves, quit, start again. Could it somehow be reading information from one of the other saves? I don't know. I wouldn't think so. Hey, look. It's not there anymore. Wait. Is this... Are we somehow reading from the wrong slot for something? But how? Like, I didn't think there was anything that was, like, the only thing that knows anything about the save slots was the save manager. Right? It knows the slot number. And then it's using that to... Okay. So this just does a reset, right? Of things. And call save current slot. Okay, so when we load, get available slots, save global state, global data. Okay, global data. Yes, this is a placeholder. Save current slot. That's what I'm looking for. Well, I think I'm looking for the load current slot. So when we save, what we do is for each of the managed systems that the save manager interacts with, we're iterating over them, we're getting the save key and the data that we want to save, and we just build a dictionary, right? We say system data, save data, we add a new key, we're relying on the fact that the system, these different components will provide separate keys. And so we save that in there, and then where's load? Initialize default slot. Create new game. No, I don't have a good explanation for why this is happening. So I guess for now I'm just gonna leave this bug here. I'll transfer this over to GitHub later. But assuming we can fix this, then as we can see here, if we've like reset everything, I will definitely put a note here. This behavior is not seen when all slots are deleted and a new game is started in the first slot. Just as a note. Yeah, so this will be fine once we fix that. Add items to Hotbar when they are unlocked if there's room for them. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make it so that, okay, we have empty Hotbar, then we unlock a tech. We want to find, this is a little complicated because we have the separation of the tech from the thing that the tech unlocks, right? We want to add the things the tech unlocks to the Hotbar. When it's unlocked. So I guess a question, is there a signal that the tech tree manager provides? There is a signal. Tech unlocked. I guess what could be clever is to have a signal called obstacle type unlocked. We do have obstacle types updated, but that signal is emitted when? Well, some circumstances when update available obstacles is called. So when we load a save, when a tech is unlocked or locked, then we call this. And so there is a signal that we can listen to called obstacle types updated. And does anything listen to that? This might be a thing where, oh, this already works. We'll see. Get some docs. In the Hotbar. In the Hotbar, we do listen to obstacle types updated. and we invoke on obstacle types updated. Okay, so if you log about the fact that we see the new types of things, we don't do anything with that information. We just call update slot visual. What does update slot visual do? Okay, so if slot index is greater than or equal to slot button size, or slot index is greater than or equal to slot obstacle ID size, then return otherwise. Okay, so this grabs the button so that there's two arrays, I guess, here. There is an array of, for each slot, what is the button that corresponds to the slot in the hotbar? The slot, sure. And then for each slot in the hotbar, what is the obstacle that's currently in that corresponds to the button? And then we say, hey, button. It's weird that we pass. Why do we pass slot index? What is this button? What are slot buttons? It's a hotbar button. Okay, and so we're communicating to the button that's living in that slot. Yep, you still live in this slot, this index, this slot, and here's the obstacle that you should be tied to. So, in terms of accomplishing the goal of making it so that as items are unlocked, we add them to the hotbar if there's space, I think we need to do that in a place that calls this here on obstacle types updated, right? So we say, right. Let me think about this a little bit more. So first, if there are any new types added, and there are empty slots, fill them with the new types. Then, if there are any removed types that are currently in the hotbar, clear those slots. The reason I want to do it this way, in fact, let's just make a comment block here. We'll be explicit here. The reason for this order. So this is actually the complete opposite. This is 100% not what I want. We might end up with empty slots that could have been filled with new types. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I want to do, in fact, this. So not only is this not what I mean, this is not what's implied by what is right above it, right? If we first add new types, if there are available slots, and then we maybe fill the hotbar, maybe not, and then we remove any removed obstacle types. I'm not sure why there would be removed ones. I guess, yeah, I don't know why there would be removed ones in normal gameplay. But what I don't want to do is, you could do this the opposite way of like, oh, well, this thing is no longer available because you've changed something. I don't know what. I don't think there's a way of doing that right now. But let's say you did, right? And then the button goes away, and then we're like, oh, and also this is unlocked, add it. So you would end up in a situation where your hotbar would have not a new thing because you had an empty slot. It would have a thing removed and swapped out with something else. And that feels very what's the word I'm looking for here? Not just like, not the opposite of like enabling the player, but it feels unfriendly, I'll just say. But it's funny, right? So this this is not what I meant at all. Hey, Brainless. Good morning. How's it going? We might replace. Yeah, here we go. Now these are better words. All is well. Tackling details on your mock server. How am I? Doing all right. My espresso machine has been broken for a little while now, so I've been I can't be bothered to do anything else. Yeah, I can't be bothered to do anything else for coffee, so I'm just doing tea in the afternoon. But it's okay. I mean, I could do tea in the morning, but like I said, I can't be bothered. That'd be a step too far. Okay, so how do we do this? I guess what we really need to do is we need to know if there are. I mean, we could like do a bunch of logic. Maybe we just iterate over the slots, or do we iterate over the added types? Added types is going to be a smaller number. I guess it doesn't matter anyway. We have to iterate over all of them. You've been playing with Codex and was actually impressed by it. It discovered a way to bypass your authentication layer, dev mode only, in a way you weren't even thinking of. Sure. So I really likes this idea of setting a value like a flag. Should the hotbar be updated? It's not necessary because update slot visual will handle things. What we really need to know is I don't think I'll express it like this, but I can think of this as just like we have slot obstacle IDs. Right, so that's the array of obstacle IDs for each slot. So if we mapped over that array, and we're like, actually we need to do a little bit more than that, don't we? We do need to do a little bit more than that. I guess we do need to iterate over added types, and then. Do we have set slot obstacle? Is that a thing? We just pass the slot and the obstacle? Okay. Oh, but it calls update slot visual. That's weird. Why is this as complicated as it is? Okay, I don't want to use set slot obstacle. This is the wrong thing, right? So if this is an array, if it's empty, oh, wait, I'm confused. Okay, so when we start out, we just don't bother putting in values in the array. That's why this is more complicated than it has to be. If we just said, oh, the hotbar is in numbers of slots, then we could just, in ready, well, we should. Yeah, that should have already happened by the time we get to where we're at right now. So I think all we really need to do is we need to say slot obstacle IDs sub I equals added to ID. And so then we are done with the slot. Actually, we're done. We're done with this type. We need to like go on to the next type. So in Godot, are there like break labels? Maybe cool would be like if the first result was in fact the documentation for the syntax in Godot. Okay, yeah, we'll just. Oops, I didn't mean to fold that. Let's see, how do we want to do this? Well, we'll figure that out after the break. Ooh, Playwright MCP. Ooh. Yes, I've played around with that a little bit myself. So we're going to take a break here for a couple minutes. I shall return and we'll continue working on this. So